Hi everyone, Armoured Pants here, and I have a review for you of the collectible tank, the Tier 3 FCM36 Pak40, which is in the shops at the moment. And we're going to have a look at the tech spec, and we'll have a look at that blitzhanger.com, where we always have our technical layout. Now, this tank is a collectible tank, it's not a premium, so it's to note that. It used to be a premium, but it's not anymore. It costs €349, about $4 or about 250 in British pounds, and then you get 9 slots and some extra stuff for the avatar and all that as well. And I need to give you all that because this tank is awful. It is a crap box. I really did not like playing with this tank. It has nothing going for it. It's just an awful tank. And I could probably just stop the review here, to be honest with you. I'm really struggling to, what are its redeeming characteristics. It's cheap, that's about it. Firstly, you got to play down in Tier 3, right? By the way, because it's so cheap, it is flooded with these things, right? In one game I played, there was 5 on my team and 4 on the other team, which basically means it's not a match at all. It's just a load of people sitting around waiting for targets to appear, nobody spotting, nobody scouting. It's just awful. That has actually ruined gameplay down in Tier 3 and Tier 4. If you play down there, and by the way, there's no shame in playing down there. Some people, that's where they're comfortable. I'm not one of these Blitz snobs that says you shouldn't play in this tier, that tier, whatever. This is nonsense. Play wherever you like, right? Wherever you're comfortable, wherever you enjoy. And speaking of enjoyment, I don't see how anybody could get any from this thing. It has no armor, right? It's really slow. It has patchy gun handling at best. Everything's going to pen you. Tier 2s, Tier 3, Tier 4. If you're up against Tier 4s, it's just, you haven't a hope. It's so slow. It moves like treacle. It moves at a glacial speed. With like fucking something from the Ice Age. That's forming mountain ranges. It is just so slow. Its reload is awful. It's around 13 seconds, just under 13 seconds, which, at Tier 3, come on. And with the patchy gun handling, if you miss, you gotta wait a lifetime to fire another shot. With that reload, you're doing about 120 damage in an AP round. But that's not compensating for the awful reload time and the patchy gun handling. Let's have a look at it in action here. If you can call something that moves this slow action, you can see here it's just literally you get out and walk, or as they say in France, en marche. It is just so slow. And this is a problem when you're in a tank destroyer like this, because you need to get into position. You also, as you know from the tank destroyer guide, we've said that sometimes you need to relocate to find a new position to open up new fields of fire and get targets. It's really impossible to do that in this tank, because if you need to move to another sniping position, it takes so long. The targets may have gone by the time you get there. And if you miss a shot, as we said, with that reload, it's very frustrating trying to acquire another target, because you've got to wait an eternity, as you can see here. By the way, if you're wondering what I was doing there, I was firing in between those rocks where the trees are and the bushes, because you often have a light or medium tank camping in there to see if the enemy comes. As it happens, there was nothing there, so we move on. I move on very slowly. If you, by the way, this says in the stats that it has good traverse. To my mind, it doesn't. It may have good traverse relative to other tank destroyers in its tier, but it doesn't have good traverse speed. And if you get isolated, as I did a few times in our shooting videos, against a medium tank or a light tank in Tier 2, 3 or 4, you will die, and die very quickly. I get a bounce in this game, by the way, and I think in the 10 games I played to record this, when I was to record this video, I think it's the only bounce I got. And the bounce that's just pure luck. You cannot play for bounces in this tank at all. You'll see here what I mean about the traverse, right? Now, so I'm isolated against him. Now I'm traversing. You know, everything he fires at me is penning. And look at that. This is what I mean about this patchy gun handling, right? I can't zoom in for that shot there because I need to keep an eye on him, right? And you can see there, he just pummels me, just drives off. My shot went right into him, point blank range. Nothing happened, right? It's an AP round, so you can't absorb it into track. So, you know, that's what I mean. Patchy gun handling, reminiscent of a lot of Russian tanks. Now, here's the bounce I'm talking about. There you go. Now, I mean, you just cannot play for that. It probably come off the gun mantlet. That's about the only way you can get a bounce on this thing. So you can see here, if I hadn't gotten help from my allies, that Stuart would have just taken me out. There isn't really much you can do to defend yourself. You can't angle. You can't get away because, I mean, literally you'd run away faster than you could drive away in this thing. And you can't beat him on rate of fire because your rate of fire is just awful. So you can't even defend yourself. There isn't really anything you can do. You need some help from somebody. You can see here now I'm trying to get a shot onto this red, and I'm just so slow. It's like so frustrating trying to get anywhere in this tank. You know, you can see here that the aiming time, the base aiming time, is also quite low. You know, and when you're consider you're fighting against tier 2, tier 3 tanks, tier 4, sometimes if you're really unlucky, and you have to remember that most tanks down there are light or medium tanks, and they move very quickly. So therefore, the chances of you getting off shots in this thing are slim. They're few and far between. And you know, the tactics for this tank are, because you've no armor whatsoever, and because you're so slow, you really need to get into a sniping position at the start. Hope that your allies will spot up the enemy, and then farm some damage. You know, you really need to know how to use deflection shooting with this thing, because the muzzle velocity is not great at it. It is better than the SU-761, for example, but it's not great, right? So you really need to know how to use deflection shooting. But the problem then is that if your allies don't spot or whatever, and if they move off too far ahead of you and you get isolated, you're just going to die, and you find it very frustrating tank. You know, it's just there's nothing good about this tank really, at all. Nothing to write home about. Didn't enjoy playing it. Didn't enjoy anything about it. And even though it's only €350, it's still a waste of money. Keep your money and get an SU-761 when it comes into the shops again. Also, I mean, this used to be a premium tank. When it came out first, it was a premium tank, and then they said it's a collectible tank, really so they could nerf it or change it or whatever in the future. But there's nothing premium or collectible about it. It's just a crap box. So let's recap. Terrible tank. Truly, truly awful. I hate it. Of course, that's just my own personal opinion. Maybe you'll love it, but that's just my opinion. It's as slow as death. It's sluggish to start off with too. Zero armor. Everything bends you. You know, even tier 2s. Poor gun handling. The best you could describe it as is patchy, I feel. Now, you know, it doesn't have a snubby gun like the 761, but nonetheless, it's pretty poor for a tank destroyer, when really the only thing it has going for it is its gun. And therefore it's not so good at sniping. You can't relocate easily, it's too slow, so you can't move from one sniping position to another, so therefore opening up fields of fire is difficult. The reload is treacle slow as well. I mean, for tier 3, this is really not good, right? And basically it's just a crap box. Keep your money for the SU-761 whenever it comes available, and it's far superior tier 3 tank destroyer. And no wonder they're giving away lots of stuff with this, because, you know, there's no other reason you'd buy it. And by the way, it's like lemmings down there. As I said, there's millions of them all over the place. It's just not fun. Music, by the way, was Bach's Concerto for violin and oboe and C minor, and probably the best thing in this video. So cheers, Mush. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful. Hope you keep your money. And all that remains for me to say is pants off.